Welcome to the HotelPlanner Tour and to our second week in China, where it's the last chance for the players to secure their spot at this year's Grand Final. Just the top 45 on the rankings will head to Mallorca, where they'll battle it out for promotion to the DP World Tour. One person already on his way up is Renato Paratore. His win in Hainan last week was his third of the season, securing automatic promotion to the next tier. But with the road to Mallorca top spot still up for grabs, he'd be eyeing up another good result here in Hangzhou. Sat on top of the rankings was JC Ritchie. He too a three-time winner, which means he's also guaranteed to be teeing it up alongside Paratore on the main stage next season. Success brings attention, something Ritchie had plenty of when he met the Chinese media at the start of the week.
I loved the golf course last year when I came for the first time. I think it's an unbelievable golf course, unbelievable venue. It'll be a good event for us. The city is amazing. I've spent a little bit of time walking around. It's a very advanced city, and I think it's a really cool city. Yeah.
Say that in Chinese as well, please.
While Ritchie will head to Mallorca aiming to leave as number one, others just wanted to claim their seat on the plane. Players like Anders Emil Ejlersen. The Dane has had a breakthrough season on the HotelPlanner Tour, and we caught up with him ahead of the tournament to learn more about his story.
I'm 26 years old, and I grew up in a city called Viborg. My dad, he brought me and 3 other friends to the golf club where he plays, and we were just hooked, like, instantly. We would go play golf after school until sun came down, and then go back and eat some food, and then probably head to the golf course again when it was dark. Watching Tiger Woods win, like, the major in 2008, it cleared my mind, and I was like, this is what I want to do, and ever since then it's just been 100% golf for me.
But Ejlersen still didn't fully believe this was the career for him until a special week at his National Amateur Championship.
The Danish Am was a dream for like 5-6 years, and I always thought that the field was too strong for me, and then one year I won it and I was like, maybe I can do this. The picture of me holding the trophy, it was with John Axelsen and Christopher Bring, who's on here, and then Rasmus Niergaard, who's on the DP World Tour now, and they all finished runner-up to me, and that was a big confidence boost for me.
After those early amateur wins, it's been quite a journey to this point for Ejlersen.
Went to college in the US for a year and decided that was not for me. Came back, turned pro, and played on the Nordic League for 3 years, and then got an invite to the tournament in Sweden, and now I'm here in China with you guys. It was my 4th event, and it was just a great week. You know, it's like fairy tale for me. I wasn't never really nervous or anything, and when I look back at it now, I get nervous just thinking about it. So, you know, great week for me. Right after the prize ceremony, I had an 11-hour drive back home. You know, it was such a wild ride because I called my girlfriend and we were both crying. Like, it was, it sounds a little bit, I don't know, corny, but I was crying with her, and I was talking to my dad, and he was like, good stuff and well done. And my friends called me and they congratulated me, and it was just great. It wasn't 11 hours, it felt a lot shorter than that for sure.
Following that win, Ejlersen went into this event at 49th in the rankings, just 4 spots outside the Grand Final cutoff, which has given the Dane some new goals.
I think the ultimate goal is to go to Mallorca, like finish in the top 45, but I know that there's a long way to go still, that we're not out of it, and I think the victory has sunk in now, so now I'm just 100% here and trying to get ready to play in the tournament and finish as well as I can, and hopefully go to Mallorca. Mallorca would be insane, because if you go to Mallorca, you got a chance of making the DP World Tour, right? Which is a lifelong dream for me.
But he wasn't getting ahead of himself.
Just treat it as any other tournament and prepare as well as I can, and go play as well as I can and see where I finish on Sunday.
The Hangzhou Open was making its second appearance on the HotelPlanner Tour, and a tricky test awaited the players at the Hangzhou West Lake Golf Club. Measuring more than 7,000 yards, the par 72 course was designed by 18-time major champion Jack Nicklaus and is renowned for its stunning scenery. With only 3 par 5s, each measuring over 550 yards, scoring opportunities could come at a premium in this, the second of back-to-back HotelPlanner Tour events in China. Day 1 saw a mid-morning tee time for Ejlersen, who was looking to get a good start to grab that place in Mallorca.
On the tee, from Denmark, Anders Emil Ejlersen.
But it would prove an unsettling start, as Ejlersen bogeyed the very first hole. Then confusion followed on the second, as he mistakenly picked up his ball, thinking it was preferred lies, which cost him a shot, and what should have been a birdie turned into a par. Certainly not the opening the Dane was looking for. He managed to refocus and put that behind him. Growing in confidence, Ejlersen stiffed this approach on the fourth and converted the birdie putt to get back to level par. However, any regained momentum quickly stalled by a bogey on the very next hole. He never got things going again, and after making the turn at 1 over, worse was to come. A double bogey on 11 sent him to 3 over par. Coming down the last few holes, the Dane was looking to save the round. After struggling with the putter all day, that birdie putt on 17 came as a relief, and at least offered some hope of a bounce back in fortune. But as with the birdie on 4, the Dane would follow a shot gained with a shot dropped, as he would bogey his final hole, finishing at 3 over to place him outside of those grand final places at that stage. All in all, a pretty grueling experience for Ejlersen.
It's just a long day for me. I played pretty solid, I thought. Had a rough day with the putter. Probably the worst putting I've ever tried, to be honest with you, for 18 holes. I did make a long one on 17, which helped a little bit, but super long day, and you know that you're gonna need to go out and shoot 4 really good rounds to be able to make it to Mallorca. So yeah, horrible day.
Meanwhile, at the top of the leaderboard, Spaniard Victor Pastor didn't disappoint, with an opening round of 63 to go 9 under par, 1 clear of the field. There was an early start for Ejlersen and his playing partners for round 2. After a deeply disappointing start to the week, the Dane knew that going low was the only target. Otherwise, an early finish to his week and to his season was lying in wait. Teeing off at the 10th, the 26-year-old got off to exactly the start he was looking for. Almost an eagle 2 on the opening hole. But the easiest of birdies at least saw him trending in the right direction. Back to 2 over for the week, but with the cut projected to be at 3 under, the additional required birdies didn't materialise, and 4 drop shots at the end of his front 9 put paid to any hopes of making the weekend. Ironically, perhaps with the pressure off, Ejlersen produced the best golf of his week over the closing stages. Three birdies in his final 5 holes saw him finish on a more positive note. He would eventually tap in and sign for a 73, 4 over for the week, and although it wasn't the result he was hoping for, thanks mainly to his win earlier in the season, Ejlersen was already looking forward to a full year on the HotelPlanner Tour in 2026.
Oh, I can't wait. I mean, it's going to be nice with a couple of weeks off and going back and meeting up with my friends that I haven't seen for a long time, and then when the season starts up again, I'm ready to go for it, and I can't wait to get out here to play again.
Elsewhere, it had been a much more positive couple of days for Lukas Nemec. A runner-up at the Kolkata Challenge earlier in the season, the Austrian would be looking to go one better after rounds of 65 and 66 gave him a two-shot lead heading into the weekend. Coming up, tee for two, a refreshing change for our players.
It's something I've never done before. You know, the nature here, the mountains, everything is really cool.
And we crown our final winner before the HotelPlanner Tour heads to the season's finale. We'll see you after the break. Welcome back to the HotelPlanner Tour. We're following events in Hangzhou, China this week, with a final counting event before the season-ending Rolex Grand Final. A look at the leaderboard heading into the weekend saw the likes of Victor Pastor and Bryce Easton, 56th and 58th on the rankings, well placed to try and break into the 45-man field for Mallorca. It was Austrian Lukas Nemec who led the way by 2. He was already guaranteed a spot in the Grand Final, but a win here would propel him into the top 10 on the rankings and a step closer to gaining his card for the DP World Tour. So there was plenty at stake for our contenders. It could prove a pretty big moving day, watched by Kit Alexander.
Road to Mallorca number 4, Max Steinlechner got his day going with a birdie at the first, set up by this dart of an approach, and he added more birdies on 8, 9 and 10. The 25-year-old dropped a shot on 15, but an eagle at the 17th and a birdie on the last propelled him into a share of second place at 14 under. Julian Perico found the bark off of the first tee, but he played this wonderful recovery shot, and the resultant birdie put him at 11 under and tied second at that point. At 67 in the rankings, he needed a big finish to qualify for the Grand Final, and he went out in 33 strokes. Local favourite, Jan Hangzhou, looked to be on the charge with this long birdie putt at 2, and he followed it with another at 5. But his tee shot at the par 3 7th found water, and he ended with a double bogey there. He fought back well with back-to-back birdies on the next 2 holes, but finished the day in a tie for 7th on -11. Sebastian Garcia had 1 dropped shot and 3 birdies in his first 6 holes, including this at the 6th. That put him in a tie for the lead with Nemec, but he couldn't quite hold on bogeys at 8, 11 and 12, along with the red numbers at 10 and 16, added up to a 71. Nemec started with 8 straight pars. He was consistently finding greens and 2 putting until he finally got this one to drop for birdie at 9. That took him to -14 and back into the lead.
Now, among the initiatives that took place on the weekend in Hangzhou was a Beat the Pro competition. At the par 3 13th, a few lucky young players were offered the chance to see how they fared against the leading groups during competition play. One promising youngster certainly delivered the goods. All helping to make it a day he won't forget in a hurry. Who knows, perhaps he'll be joining the main event at some point in the future.
Perico birdied the 11th, and this delightful wedge shot led to his 6th pickup of the day at 17. The Peruvian parred the last for his 3rd consecutive round of 67 and a tie for the lead. Lukas Nemec picked up a shot at 12, but bogeys at 14 and 16 looked to be undoing his hard work. But the experienced Austrian rallied with a birdie finish, including this approach at 18, to haul himself back alongside Perico at 15 under.
So a look at the leaderboard heading into the final round, and Lucas Nemec had been joined at the top by Peruvian Julian Perico. Both players knew that a win in this last counting event before the grand final would see them climb into the top 20 on the rankings. Now time for a much-needed break from the heat of competition. So our third round leader, Perico, was joined by Hugo Townsend for a stroll around the lush scenery on a mission to pick out some of China's finest tea.
We got in a car from the golf course and we got shuttled away about 10 minutes into this amazing little village. It's a tea town. Amazing place, it's cool.
It's incredible, you know, we're in the top of a hillside in the middle of China. It's something I've never done before, you know, the nature here, the mountains, everything is really cool. So it's nice to quiet the noise down a little bit. And I love nature, I love being around nature. So coming here and kind of feeling a little grounded is really nice.
And normally we don't get to see a lot of the cool places. We just go to hotels, to golf courses, to airports. So yeah, I mean, especially traveling as far as China, it's very, very cool.
It's one of those experiences that I would say if it wasn't for golf, I probably wouldn't be doing this. So extremely grateful to, you know, immerse yourself in the culture. I mean, it's just super cool. Good? I mean, you're next.
They showed us how they did the process of making green tea and white tea.
I can hit a driver, how hard can this be?
Wild process. And then we got to taste the green tea and the white tea, and it was really cool.
Cheers. Come on, big guy.
That's not bad.
My dad is a big green tea drinker, and that green tea we just drank got an award as the best green tea.
We got a tea time.
We got We tend to gas things up, Hugo and I. We're gassing this one up because it's actually good. It was really good, and then we drank the white tea, and it was a great experience. Like, they do this to say thanks. 2 or 3? How many taps? The more taps, the more thankful you are. You just tapping.
Yet another great experience for our HotelPlanner Tour players, and some welcome respite from the on-course tension of what lay ahead in the final round of the Hangzhou Open. For some, it would be the last 18 holes of their season. For others, a chance to book their seat on the plane to the grand final in Mallorca. Waiting to describe the final day drama, Kit Alexander.
Steinlechner started the day one shot behind Nemec and Perico, but he birdied the first and they both bogeyed. So as this dropped, he was one shot ahead. It was the dream start as he birdied the second as well. Albin Bergstrom was another player in need of a big result to get to Mallorca, and he exploded out the blocks with a birdie-eagle birdie start, and this set up another birdie at 5. He went out in 6 under, and although his charge faded with a level par back 9, his 66 was enough to book his spot in the grand final. Nemec got his drop shot back here at the 5th. Beautiful control of the spin, but a double bogey on the 7th halted his momentum. Once again, he reacted well to the disappointment with 3 birdies on the back 9 for a 71. Perico also bounced back from the early bogey well, as he made 3 birdies in 5 holes from the second. This excellent putt at 6 sent him into the lead at 17 under. He would churn out the pars from this point. Garcia was 1 under through his first 6, but he came alive with 3 birdies in a row from 7, with this one just about dropping in to complete the trio as he made the turn in tied second. The Spaniard dropped a shot at 12, but got it right back here at 14. It was a super approach, and he converted it to keep himself in the mix in solo second, just 1 shot behind. He birdied 17 to set the clubhouse target at 17 under. Pars for Steinlechner and Perico at the par 5 17th, and a birdie for either of them at 18 would be for the win. Perico parred, and the Austrian gave this long birdie putt a brilliant run, but it didn't drop, so there were 3 tied at the top.
Yes, after 4 closely fought rounds, it would all come down to extra holes to decide the champion. It would be back to the 18th tee for Steinlechner, Perico and Garcia for the sudden death playoff. But who would stand tallest when it came to the crunch?
Garcia and Perico parred the first playoff hole, but this par effort from Steinlechner cruelly lipped out, so he was eliminated, and the other 2 headed back to the 18th tee. On the second extra hole, Perico failed to get up and down from the edge of the green, so Garcia had 2 putts for the win. He did what he needed to do to claim a first HotelPlanner Tour victory and secure an immediate return to the DP World Tour.
Sebastian Garcia.
Now it's a dream because 5 weeks ago it's outside for the position 35, I think, or something like that. And my target for this week is, for the last 2 weeks, is maybe one, and this is a dream. I fly this night, and I think a little bit champagne in the flight.
So Sebastian Garcia grinning all the way to the grand final. Commiserations to Steinlechner and Perico, although they do have the consolation of joining Garcia on the plane to Spain. A look at those Road to Mallorca rankings heading into the season-ending grand final, and no surprise that Garcia was the biggest mover, climbing from 21st to 7th. At the top, Steinlechner closing the gap on JC Ritchie. Further down, Lucas Nemec has timed his run into form nicely, moving up 11 places to 19th, with Jamie Rutherford slipping down to that increasingly important 20th spot. Thanks to his top 5 finish in China, Albin Bergstrom gate-crashed the grand final, and Victor Pastor sneaked into the top 45 after his high China finish. Mathis Bézard is the unlucky player to miss out by just 2 ranking points. And that concludes a quite incredible fortnight in China. Renato Paratore picked up win number 3, and Sebastian Garcia secured the silverware in Hangzhou, cementing his return to the DP World Tour. The class of 2025 has now been whittled down to just 45 who've made it to Mallorca and the Rolex Grand Final, supported by the R&A, and a date with destiny.